Ooh, what's with all these questions about me moving to somewhere else? You guys not like me living in Canada? It's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another mukbang slash eating show. Today we have another episode of Munching Mondays, which is my mukbang series. So if you guys enjoy mukbang videos, make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Today, you guys, I have a very, very special meal in front of me. This is a little messy, but you know what? It's all good because it's still gonna taste amazing. This is a recipe from my upcoming Vegan Asian Recipes ebook. So that ebook will be available for pre-order on the 8th. And on the 8th, you'll get 50% off for just a few days until we actually release the book. So if you want to pre-order, make sure you come back and check out my video on the 8th that will be coming out. I'm also gonna be sending out emails and such. So if you would like to sign up for my mailing list, you can check out the link down below and you can sign up for updates through that as well. So this is one of the recipes that is featured in my ebook, and if you want the recipe for this, it is available in that book, so make sure you grab a copy. So this right here is what the Korean and Japanese people call OMURICE, which is basically omelet rice, but this is a vegan version, so we're not using any eggs or any other animal products. So this is something I grew up eating when I was young. I would always eat this. My mom would always make this for me, so it's kind of a nostalgic little thing, and I've always wanted to make like a vegan version of it. And here we have a vegan version of OMURICE, and it's basically like an omelet but with fried rice in the middle. And then we put ketchup on top and it's delicious. And this one is a little messy. The one that I made in the ebook is actually much more beautiful. I don't know why this turned out to be a bit messy, but it's okay. So I'm super excited to eat this. It is so delicious, and the ebook is going to be full of Asian or Asian inspired, Asian fusion types of vegan dishes that I love, that are delicious. And there's gonna be main dishes, there's gonna be noodles, there's gonna be dessert, there's gonna be breakfast items, so many different things, and I'm really, really proud of the ebook. I worked really, really hard to make this happen. So yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it. So once again, it's going to be available for pre-order on August 8th, and you can check back on here on this YouTube channel to get the updates, or you can sign up for the email list, which I will link down below. Yeah, it's going to be officially launched on the 12th, but on the 8th, you're gonna get a big 50% off discount, which is very good. So that's my little, intro. I'm gonna actually start eating. So right here on this side, I have pickled radish, which is called 단무지 in Korean, and it's just kind of like a nice little side dish to have. You can eat it with kimchi or just on its own, totally fine. And I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me questions, so I thought I would answer some questions as I'm eating. But you know what? Let's have a bite first. How am I gonna do this? I don't wanna like mess up this. Oof. There we go, you guys. Ooh. First bite. It's so good. I'm gonna eat this so fast. I can just feel it. You guys, it's so good. Okay, one more bite before I start answering questions. Ooh, look at that. It's like my childhood. All right, let's answer some questions. Ooh, there's a lot. Okay, so The first question I see, how do you find balance with hunger and body image while being a food blogger? Interesting. Well, I think that I started my channel in a good time when I felt a little bit more, I guess, confident and less obsessed with body image. So I think if I had started the channel a few years before I started it, it would have been harder for me because I was a lot more in the restrictive mindset when it came to food. So I think I started at a time where I just kind of like didn't care that much. Like, not that I don't care about my body image, because I do, but not to the point that I used to. So I think as I got older, I just started being less obsessed with, you know, eating less or restricting my food or being skinny and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't really struggle too much. I think that, you know, I film mukbang videos, but I try to be mindful. For example, like I try not to eat like super junky mukbang videos all the time. I do that once in a while. And for the other times, I try to eat like healthier food. So that's the kind of balance that I'm looking for, you know? And most of the time, the food that I make is pretty healthy. So it's not like, you know, I'm eating like junk food all the time as a food blogger. Hope that answers your question. If you can have any type of powers, what power would you have? Ooh, good question. Ooh, I think I would like to fly. Yeah, I feel like my answer changes to this question every time. But I think flying would be a great power. Just being able to go wherever I want, or just like teleporting. Just being able to like be in whatever place that I want to be. So yeah, flying or teleporting, I feel like that would be ideal. I used to think, oh, like I want to be invisible, but then I'm like, do I really want to be in places where people don't know that I'm there? You know, I don't know. It's a bit weird. I feel like that could lead to trouble. I don't know. But flying and teleporting, I feel like I can go wherever I want, travel wherever I want, whenever I want. That would be awesome. And I feel like it'd be so fun to fly, you know? Even though I'm afraid. But if I could fly, I'm sure I wouldn't be that afraid. You know what I mean? Will you be doing a cookbook giveaway? Ooh, giveaway. I didn't really think about that, but that is definitely a possibility. Yes, that's most definitely a possibility. What is your next travel destination? So I'm going to be going, ooh, what is in my eye? The next travel destination is going to be Hawaii, people. I'm going to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii before, so it's kind of an exciting little journey. Yeah, I'm going pretty soon, actually, in August. So yeah, I'll be in Oahu. I don't know much about Hawaii at all. I actually don't know anything about Hawaii, so leave me some tips, guys, if you know things about Hawaii. Where should I eat? What should I do? All that good stuff. Another bite. Would you ever try doing keto vegan for a while? Ooh, do you see what I'm eating up in here? It's called fried rice, okay? Honestly, I have no desire to go keto. I did try like low carb vegan once. That was interesting, okay? I did make videos on it if you guys wanna watch that. Yeah, I just really like carbs, and I feel like vegan keto is very limited. I mean, like, what could you eat? Like nuts and seeds and avocados. It just doesn't sound appealing to me. I know some people do it, and like, you know what? Kudos if you can do it. But for me, it's like, I just don't see the point. I don't have health problems I need to fix. I don't feel like keto is going to give me any health benefits. I just don't see the point. I feel like I would just feel so deprived because anything that I like to eat would not fall into the keto category. Like, I love avocados, but like avocados without some sort of like, I don't know, something else that's not like super high fat, it just doesn't sound appealing. I don't know. Any of you do vegan keto? Let me know. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Like, tell me everything. That being said, I am a YouTuber. I like making content, trying new things. So maybe like I'll try it one day just for like YouTube, like a challenge just for YouTube, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but I wouldn't do it like for any other reason than to make videos and see how it goes. So maybe for entertainment purposes, but I don't know. Sounds like torture. Sounds like torture. How to lose weight when you are vegan. I'm not qualified to give any sort of dietary or nutritional advice, but I mean, my guess would be what a lot of other professionals say is to eat a whole foods, plant-based diet that is low in oil and processed foods. And yeah, so starch-based, plant-based, whole foods-based, that's what a lot of people recommend. And yeah, maybe limit the amount of processed vegan junk food. That's probably, you know, that's probably a good idea. Are you able to live off YouTube only? Let me just read this again. Are you able to live off of YouTube only? When and how did it happen? Getting some good questions, people. Yes, I am able to make a living off of YouTube only. I do have another business, which is a vegan cafe that I own with my mom. But in terms of like the amount of money and, you know, actually making a full-time income, yes, I am making a full-time income from YouTube. And the way that I do it is by using multiple streams of revenue. So for example, like I mentioned, I have that ebook coming out, which will be another source of revenue. I already have an ebook that I released a few years ago that is still being sold today, and I make a little bit of income from that. The first way I started making money on YouTube was through ads that play on my videos. You guys know that there's ads before my video starts and also in between videos, and that helps me with money. That helps provide me with income. And also I work with brands that sponsor my videos. So yes, I do make a living off YouTube. It said, when did it happen? I started making a living off of YouTube full-time, I would say in maybe when my ebook came out for the first time, which was I think December 2016 is when I started making a full-time income on YouTube. Yeah, so if you are curious about that, I feel like the most important thing is to diversify your income. So don't just rely on YouTube ad revenue, don't just rely on sponsorships. I feel like you need to do multiple things. Yeah, but it is a business, and yes, I do make an income from YouTube. Thank you to you guys for watching. Okay, another bite. Would you move back to London? Ooh. For those of you guys that don't know, I used to live in London, United Kingdom. From 2014 to 2016, that's when I started my YouTube channel when I was living in London. and I go back to visit like once a year or something, and now I'm living in Canada again, which is where I'm from. Well, I'm originally from South Korea, but I grew up in Canada. And so would I move back to London if I could? I don't know. I feel like a part of me wants to say yes, but a part of me wants to say no. There's a lot of different factors to take into consideration. For example, it is very expensive to live in London versus where I live, which is Calgary, Canada. And the standard of living is just not comparable. Like, it's just, the quality of living is just so much higher here where I live. For example, the amount of money that I would spend to rent like a really, really nice place would give me like a shoebox in London, for example. That's just one thing. And of course, it's a lot busier of an environment. It's a little bit more stressful. That being said, there are pros to being in London. London is a huge city where there's a lot of creatives living there, so I think I would benefit from living there just from my job perspective, because when I was living in London, I wasn't doing this for a living. I was actually working in an office. So I think my experience would be very different, because I could have probably I could take advantage of living in London much more because of the field that I'm in now. But yeah, I'm not sure if I would live there again if I could. I think I would definitely consider it, but I have a cafe here now. I have a life here. I've got friends here. London is a very transitional city. A lot of people don't end up settling down in London. A lot of people, especially foreigners. If you're British, of course, you might end up living in London for your life. But once again, it's very expensive to live in London. So a lot of people might actually live in the suburbs of London, not actually London. And if you're a foreigner, you're probably going to be a transient individual, maybe living in London for a few years and then not living there afterwards. So it's tough to say. I wouldn't completely dismiss the idea if I had the opportunity. But it's a great place to live when you're young and having fun and you want to experience things and you want to live in a big city. It's just so much fun, and I love going back to visit because it just makes me feel like, oh, like it's like I never left. Like when I went back this year, which was recently, I felt like I just never left. It was very familiar to me and it felt really, really good. So is it ethical/vegan to have pets, as zoos are not? Interesting question. I think it would depend on the pet that we're talking about. At this moment in time, I would say that it is ethical to have certain pets, because now, for example, with dogs, it's come to a point where they're very reliant on human beings. They have become household animals. I don't know that much. Okay, I'm not an expert in this field, so please feel free to correct me if I say something that's inaccurate, which I'm sure I would. But yeah, I don't know enough about this. I would say that certain animals, absolutely unethical, you know, like wild animals that are caught to be sold in pet stores. I wouldn't really think that that's ethical. But again, it depends on the situation. So are you adopting, like let's say if you adopted a pet that was once sold in a pet store that may have been a wild animal at some point, but then, I don't know, became a pet and then got abandoned or whatever. In that situation, I would say it's ethical because that animal has nowhere else to go, and that animal is now no longer a wild animal and cannot really be released in the wild. So it's kind of like the damage is already done. So in that situation, it is, I think, ethical. And kind of the same thing with like dogs and cats and stuff like that. I feel like we've come to a point where we've already like basically made these animals our companion animals for so long that I feel like they also are happy with, you know, being with human beings. I'm not sure about cats actually, but dogs like for sure. And I still don't believe in, you know, breeding of more dogs and, you know, selling dogs and cats as, you know, property or as, you know, products. So I definitely don't believe in that. But in this world right now, we have so many unwanted dogs that are up for adoption, that are sitting in shelters, a lot of them being euthanized because there are way too many and shelters cannot handle them. So adopting a dog would be something that I believe is very ethical and very vegan at this moment of time. So it's hard for me to talk about a future in which we don't have millions of animals that are, you know, abandoned and available for adoption. I think in that situation, we would have a different answer. But right now, in this moment of time, since there are so many animals that are adoptable, that are looking for homes that depend on human beings to survive and have a good life. In my opinion, I think it is ethical at this moment of time to have certain pets if we get them from an adoption situation. If we adopt them, I think it is an ethical situation. I guess it's another gray area to discuss. But I will talk about zoos since this person brought up the topic of zoos. I don't think that these two things are equal at all. I think these are two very, very different situations. We're talking about pets are basically animals that again have evolved maybe to become our companions and, you know, to stick to us and depend on us for survival. I'm talking about dogs specifically. So I feel like it's very different from going to a zoo, for example, which I'm completely against. I know people will probably comment and say that zoos are not all bad. They do good things. They put money into research and helping wildlife and all of those things. And yeah, I'm not going to deny that zoos do some good. But I don't believe that they are good. Just inherently speaking, what a zoo is a playground for humans. Like, it is developed and it exists for humans only. It is not designed for animals or for the benefit of animals. It is designed for the benefit of humans, and that's basically what the baseline of a zoo is. No matter what good you do in a zoo, and what kind of like little projects they do to help animals. Fundamentally, the point of a zoo is for human entertainment, and most of the animals that live in zoos are held in captivity against their will, and I just don't think it's ethical in any way, shape, or form, no matter how many good things that the zoo does. And in order for me to support a zoo, it would not be called a zoo anymore because, like I said, the baseline of what a zoo is human entertainment and not for animals. So I don't believe in zoos, but I do believe in pets depending on the situation at this moment of time in our history. I hope that makes sense. Next question. What's your education? My education is that I have a Bachelor of Commerce with a focus in international business, and I have a minor in communication studies. That is my education. Yes. Every bite I'm like, Ooh. If you had to live abroad, what country would you choose and why? That is a very difficult question. Assuming that I had to live abroad, like I had to leave Canada because of whatever reason. That's tough to say. Honestly, that's very tough to say. I think my younger self with a big imagination would pick somewhere like Thailand or Italy, south of Italy, I don't know. That's very difficult. My mindset, I think one of the things that happens when you get a little bit older, just a little bit older, is that you start to be a lot more realistic with things. So you lose a little bit of that like dreaminess where you're like, oh, I want to live in Bali and, you know, drink coconut water and do yoga every morning, like that kind of dreamy, like hopeful thing. You just lose that and you become a lot more realistic. And in a way it's good because, you know, I think about, you know, okay, what's actually beneficial for me? Like, would I actually live in that country? How affordable is that country? How's the infrastructure? And do I have friends in that country? Do I have people that I can talk to? You know, so you become a lot more realistic with your answers. So it's hard for me to say. Where would I live? Oh, you know, I like the idea of, Italy. I used to live in Italy when I was studying abroad there for a semester. I lived in Milan but Rome would be like amazing, I think, but probably not long term. That's the thing, like all of these places I'm like, do I actually want to live there long term? I'm not sure. And plus I don't have friends there. See what I do? I try to like rationalize it, even though this is just a fun little game, and I'm like, but I don't have friends there, and I don't speak the language. Anyways, Portugal is amazing. Oh my god, I could live in Portugal, at least for a short term. Portugal is very affordable. It is beautiful. If you've never been, oh my gosh, it is amazing. Yeah, maybe Portugal. It's by the ocean, so you get some of that oceany goodness. Maybe Portugal or Spain. Italy, Portugal, or Spain. Let me pick one of those. But maybe Portugal. Or if I'm being realistic, maybe the UK. I speak the language. I have friends there. I've already lived there. And it'd be good for my career. All that good stuff. One more question. Have you ever thought about moving to Korea? Ooh. What's with all these questions about me moving to somewhere else? You guys not like me living in Canada? So I'm from Korea. If you guys don't know, I think I mentioned it earlier today. But I am from South Korea. I was born in South Korea in a city called Pohang. And I moved to Canada when I was 8 years old. So I grew up in Canada. I have been back to Korea multiple times. I speak the language. I have family there, like not immediate family. My immediate family is here, but I have lots of relatives that live in Korea. I have thought about living in Korea before. I think before I moved to the UK, I wanted to either move to the UK and work there or teach English in South Korea. That was my original plan. This is before the whole YouTube thing started. So I wouldn't be completely opposed to the idea. However, it's not really on my radar at the moment. I think Korea is a fun place to be. It's there's a lot to do. Of course, I really enjoy, visiting my family and all of that stuff. I really like Seoul. I like big cities, so Seoul is always a good time. I've been back to visit multiple times, but it is, in my opinion, probably not the best place to live because there's a lot of pollution right now. It is very expensive to live in Seoul. I don't know how easy it is to be vegan. Maybe in Seoul it would be fine, but I think in other places it would be a little bit more difficult, although not impossible. I think especially when I think about like long term, potentially having a family, it isn't really the type of place that I would like to raise a family if I were to have one. I think it's a very tough environment for a lot of people that live in Korea, which is very sad. A lot of people have a hard time finding a job, and the economy is not doing as well as it may look. There's a lot of like issues that I think I don't have to deal with here in Canada. I'm very lucky to be living in Canada. So yeah, I'm not really sure if I would live there, but maybe for a short term. I always say maybe anything short term I'm willing to do. I've tried lots of things before, so why not? I'm a big fan of trying new things and trying different things and learning from those experiences. So I wouldn't mind living there for a little bit maybe, but definitely not in a long-term sense. I ramble a lot. Holy. Anyways, oh, guys, I am full. I just finished that OMURICE, and that was my vegan version of OMURICE, and I can't wait for you guys to try this after I release the ebook. Again, the ebook will be available for pre-order on August 8th, and you'll get 50% off. So make sure you check this space, make sure you sign up for my email list, and you will get the updates and the links necessary for you to purchase the ebook. Make sure you get that 50% off, okay? That is a pretty darn good sale, if I may say so. So yeah, that's going to be available for pre-order on August 8th. I really hope you guys grab a copy and try some of these recipes. I'm so passionate about Asian food and veganism. You guys know I just love sharing this kind of stuff with you guys, especially Asian food, because I think Asian food is the best, okay? Especially if you are vegan. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, of course, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.